not give him the money back. I mean, I don't know what you thought the ultimate outcome was going to be. You had plenty of time to pay this back, to make this right. I mean, right up to the morning of trial. And you had a bunch of money that you could have put towards paying Ms. Badgley back. Maybe we could have avoided being where you're at right now at any point during that. So I don't know what you were thinking. You just thought you were going to keep that money and nothing else would ever happen. Because we have a real victim who suffered a real loss, who continues to suffer a loss, I think that calls for the imposition.
Before a single sentence is spoken in this courtroom, understand what's really at stake here. This isn't just a contractor dispute. This is a criminal case built on broken trust, delayed responsibility, and a victim still paying the price. On one side, Samantha Badgley, a single mother struggling to keep her home together after losing thousands of dollars. On the other, Mr. Miller, a first-time offender who says he never meant to hurt anyone, but whose actions tell a very different story. Today, you're about to watch how intention, delay, and accountability collide inside a courtroom where sympathy has limits and consequences don't. Stay locked in, because what seems like a business mistake is about to turn into a life-changing legal reckoning.
Mr. Brown, did you have a chance to go through the pre-sentence report with Mr. Miller?
I did, Your Honor.
And Mr. Miller, did you have an adequate opportunity to go through that report and talk to Mr. Brown about it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Brown, are there any additions, deletions, or corrections to that report?
No, Your Honor, and no challenges to the story.
Mr. Rolla, do the people have any additions, deletions, or corrections?
No additions, deletions, or corrections, but we do have a victim who would like to speak.
Okay, do you have any challenges to the scoring?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Miller, if you'll have a seat there next to your attorney. And Mr. Rolla, if you can have the victim have forward, please. And then right to the podium. And we had a trial in this matter. Your name was certainly put into the record during the trial as a witness. But if you could just state your name again here today.
Samantha Badgley.
And Ms. Badgley, I did have a chance to read the written victim impact statement that was submitted. What would you like to say here today?
Well, I have something written down. Should I just?
Sure.
Okay. I'm here today to express the impact that the situation has had on my life. The financial strain caused by the theft I experienced has not only affected me, but also my child. As a single mom, I am solely responsible for supporting my family. So to address necessary repairs needed on my home, I had to take out a loan. And the burden of making these monthly payments on this loan for money that was essentially stolen from me, as well as having a roof that is still declining over time, has further strained my already limited financial resources, as well as being a constant source of stress for me. As time goes on, my roof is getting worse and I don't have funds to repair it. And the longer I wait to repair it, the more damage is done to my home. Jared had not stolen this money from me, or even if he had given me money back, my roof would have been able to get done. But now, because there is more damage, I will have to come up with even more money to repair it. The situation has left me feeling vulnerable and overwhelmed as I strive to provide a safe and stable environment for my child. I respectfully urge the court to consider the ongoing struggles that I face because of this crime. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Mr. Miller, you can come back to the podium. Mr. Rolla, is there anything that you would like to say on behalf of the people?
Yes, Your Honor, thank you. It's a first felony situation, guidelines of 0 to 5 years. There's a recommendation of 2 years probation with jail for 3 months, which would be the top of the minimum guideline range. In this particular case, as the court's well aware, the jury took 14 minutes to find the defendant guilty in this particular case. A situation where the defendant had over a year to simply perform the work he had agreed to do, that he had contracted for, and or then refund the victim's money. And we would have never been brought here before the court. The victim is Badgley, as she already indicates, a single mother. It's unfortunate that in his written statement that's attached to the PSI, this defendant tries apparently to portray himself as a victim by indicating that on August 3rd or 4th, due to, quote, lack of a crew to help me, which was likely because of cold months coming, and other jobs taking longer, he couldn't do the work. Then stated he has a 5-star rating, and quite frankly, Your Honor, people submit is evidenced by the fact, in this particular case, in addition to August being a summer month, not a colder month for us, that the defendant also in this particular case, as you recall, this jury was told he wanted payment not made to his company, but to himself and or in cash. No work ever being done, no supplies ever being delivered to the victim. And then when the victim, as you recall, she testified to, tried to make arrangements to get this done, he just ghosted her after that particular fact. So quite frankly, in the people's position, the defendant's actions are completely contrary to his claim that at no point did I intend to defraud anyone. But the fact that over a year has passed without this matter being remedied, and the facts as determined by the jury, I was wrong, it was 18 minutes, not 14 minutes. His own actions would seem to indicate otherwise, in which case, although this is a first felony and it's unusual, it would be the people's position that we think jail time should be imposed. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Brown?
Thank you, Your Honor. I did have an opportunity to speak with Mr. Miller. Firstly, I do feel bad and have sympathy for Ms. Badgley. I know what kind of a position that put her in. I spoke with Mr. Miller about that and essentially tried to have him imagine himself in that position if that had happened to him, because he does have a family. He's 28 years old, no prior criminal history at all. This is not a drug-related crime. It's not a violence-related crime. And he has 2 children who are on the spectrum, I believe, and another one on the way to be born very soon that he is desperate to see the birth of. If someone were to do that to him and he depended upon that service. And I don't really think he understood that before he looked at it from that kind of a perspective. The court will note that he has steady employment, he has steady residency, and again, this is his very first offense. And looking through this and reading the PSI, I did get a copy of this statement and go through that. He does have an 8th grade education. He dropped out of high school because he got his girlfriend pregnant. He dropped out of high school and went straight to work and tried to do the right thing to take care of the family. There was no indication that he's bad at his job as far as his workmanship goes. But unfortunately, being skilled at something, you can be the most skilled person in the world at construction and roofing. But if you're going to run your own business, there are certain things you just got to do. And he has no business experience and does not know how to run business. I understand what he said, that at no time he intended to defraud anyone. And that may be well true in his mind. But again, nobody can read somebody's mind. The only way we can determine intent is through facts, actions, things that we can present, that a jury can see. So while he still believes and maintains that he did not intend to defraud, he does understand and can see with the evidence that was presented how a jury could look at that and say, yeah, this just does not look good. This doesn't look good. I don't think he's doing it in order to try and raise sympathy for himself or anything of that nature, Your Honor. I think it is just a lack of education, perhaps ignorance in running a business and believing that all of these things through his life experiences, the loss of his son, for one, and these are just things that maybe he even assumed somebody would have understanding about in his mind, not really looking at it from an outside point of view of what this really looks like. I don't think he's a really bad guy here. He intends on paying every penny of this back as soon as feasibly possible. I believe he might have a large portion of it today. So I would ask the court to take all those things into consideration when fashioning a sentence here. If the court does impose jail time, Your Honor, I would ask that the court consider holding it in abeyance or perhaps under a delay so that he can get out there, get to work, and get this thing done. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Miller, is there anything you wanted to say today?
Yeah, I just wanted to apologize. I didn't intend for this to happen. At the time I took the job, I thought very well I could get it done in a timely manner. Wasn't able to do that, so like you said, maybe I'm a good roofer and a bad businessman, bad time management, you know. So sorry for anything that's caused it.
All right. I did read through the report, so I'm familiar with all the information in that report. That includes information about your history and your background, Mr. Miller. And also, I presided over the trial. I heard all the evidence that was presented in this case. So I'm well familiar with the facts of what happened. Certainly take all of that into consideration along with what you had to say here today. I read through your written statement as well. Ms. Badgley, I appreciate you coming back again today, making a statement here on the record. It's never easy for people to have to admit that they've been a victim of a crime. It makes them feel like maybe, they did something wrong in some way. And it's certainly difficult to come up and talk about that in front of a room full of people. But I think it's really important that victims do come forward and make statements. Number one, I think hopefully it'll help you move on, the fact that you got to address this in an open court. But I also think it sets a good example for other victims to come forward and have the courage to do that. So I appreciate your statements as well. And it gives me a better insight into how this crime actually affected you in a real world kind of a way that doesn't come through necessarily on a piece of paper. So I take all of those things into consideration. I mean, Mr. Miller, you're 28 years old. You don't have any prior criminal history. I think that gives the court some reason to think that this could be an isolated incident, and that through probation, you can get back on the right track and not engage in this type of behavior anymore. So I think that certainly is a mitigating circumstance here. But the nature of the crime, the circumstances, I think, is concerning. I don't think you have to have a higher education. I don't think you have to be a good businessman to know that you don't take $6,000 from somebody and not do the work and not give them the money back. I mean, I don't know what you thought the ultimate outcome was going to be. You had plenty of time to pay this back, to make this right. I mean, right up to the morning of trial. And you had a bunch of money that you could have put towards paying Ms. Badgley back. Maybe we could have avoided being where you're at right now at any point during that. So I don't know what you were thinking. If you just thought you were going to keep that money and nothing else would ever happen.
This is the emotional turning point of the entire hearing. Up until now, this case could sound like paperwork, contracts, and timelines, but Samantha Badgley's words transform it into something human. Courts don't sentence spreadsheets, they sentence impact. And what you just heard is exactly what judges weigh when deciding whether probation alone is enough. This isn't just about money missing, it's about a roof still leaking, loans still unpaid, and a child living under constant uncertainty. And here's the legal reality. Once harm is clearly documented, the court shifts from asking what happened to asking what justice requires. So ask yourself, if you were sitting in that courtroom, would apology feel like accountability, or would action have mattered more?
Real good reason for either not doing work or not paying her back in the amount of time that it's gone by. I don't think any of the excuses that you gave, frankly, are any reason to not have done that up to this point. I do think I got the real sense that through the trial and through your own statement that, you wanted everybody to feel bad for you in some way. And clearly, the real victim here is Ms. Badgley, who is struggling, who needs this repair done, who borrowed money to get it done. And she doesn't have the work done or the money. And she is certainly no better in a position to bear that burden than you are. So I really find that there's just absolutely no excuse for your actions in this case, your failure to make this right before now. And so I think that does call for a degree of punishment as well. So for all those reasons, I think the recommendation is well crafted here. It provides for a period of probation so that you're being monitored It provides for some punishment so that you understand that this is absolutely not acceptable either as a businessman, but just as a person in the community taking money from somebody. It's just wrongful conduct, regardless of the circumstances. So it provides a degree of punishment for that and accountability for that. And I think that's very much appropriate in this case. So because we have a real victim who suffered a real loss, who continues to suffer a loss, I think that that calls for as a reason for the imposition of jail time. The court is going to follow the recommendation, sentence you to a period of probation for 2 years. The court is going to adopt as the conditions of that probation all the terms and conditions that are listed in the report. The court is going to order that you serve 3 months in the Otsego County Jail. You have credit for 14 days served. The court is going to order restitution in the amount of $6,750 that's payable to the Otsego County Clerk to be dispersed to Samantha Batchley. The court will order crime victims assessment of $130, a supervision fee while you're on probation of $30 per month, court costs of $325, attorney fees $350, DNA testing fee of $60, and a $68 state cost. You have the ability to seek an appeal of the sentence. Mr. Brown, if you can have Mr. Miller acknowledge the appellate rights.
Your Honor, he has signed that acknowledgement. I'm tendering that to the court.
Mr. Miller, you are remanded to the custody of the county at this time.
And this is where everything comes full circle. The court didn't sentence Mr. Miller because he was bad at business, it sentenced him because time passed without correction. 3 months in jail, 2 years of probation, restitution ordered to Samantha Badgley. This wasn't about revenge, it was about boundaries. The judge made it clear that intent is measured through behavior, not explanations. Missed chances to repay became evidence. Delayed responsibility became risk. And once a jury returned a guilty verdict, the system stopped waiting for things to be made right voluntarily. This case shows how quickly small decisions become life-altering consequences when accountability is postponed. If you found this case as powerful as we did, make sure to hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more jaw-dropping courtroom breakdowns where every decision changes a life.